Welcome to Brand Builders TV. Deep dive topics, tools and resources brought to you by global thought leaders from within the Brand Builders Club. This show gives you access to the strategies that you can use to move forward with ease and flow in every area of your life and business. In today's show, Fiona is going to share with you a simple strategy that she mastered for learning how to say no elegantly. Fiona went from being a busy yes girl who agreed to everything and put everyone else before herself to becoming a successful health practitioner and teacher, making a global difference at the same time as having plenty of time for herself. How did she do it? You're about to find out. Learn it, model it, and get shit done. Let's go.
Hello and welcome to Brand Builders TV. My name is Fiona Dilston and I am really pleased to be here with you on this Wednesday afternoon. So, this is the first of 4 Wednesday afternoons you will have with me, should you decide to follow along. So, yes. What I want to talk about is going from being a yes girl, which, might sound a bit dodgy, to becoming successful. Being in the position where I'm, able to pay my own rent, as they say. And my beginnings, yes. I was a child who always had to comply. From being about 3, my mum was really rather ill and she had a difficult life, a very difficult life. And her being ill meant that I always had to say yes. And this was a pattern. More than a pattern, this was a way of being that I'd taken right through up until it's over the last 4 or 5 years, I guess, that I have really realised how much of a people pleaser I've been. And it's huge, it's epic. Okay, so thank you, Sammy and Philippa, for being here and watching. Yeah, people pleasing. And it was my survival mechanism. Hugely so, to the extent where if somebody else wasn't happy, I'd lose sleep over it. I was looking for things to give myself a hard time about. So how did I begin to stop? And why did I need to stop? Why was I still, 20 years, 30 years later, prioritising anything and anybody and everybody over myself? And yeah, the people pleasing's the survival mechanism. People pleasing is the way that you don't get shouted at. People pleasing is the way that basically you don't get hurt. So, interestingly, one of my first beginnings with the saying no was when I started training as a homeopath and my daughter was at primary school. And at that point, there was a situation where a class was basically far too big and I was going in and helping. And there came a point where that was biting into my time that I needed to be spending on studying, spending on seeing, seeing clients, seeing patients while I was training, and doing it during the day while my daughter was in school. So I used to have to hide from the headmistress of that primary school because it had always been guaranteed that Fiona would step in, Fiona would do it, Fiona would sort it. And I had to just go, really sorry, Mary, but I can't. And I was, trying to be all things to all people. And I caught myself. I pulled myself back. And, things didn't continue the way they had done before I was doing them. But I had to say, I'm doing this for me. And there was a sense of feeling a bit mean, feeling a bit tight. I handed over my chocolate cake recipe to somebody else on the PTA, but it was never the same, apparently. And, I needed to stop so that I could do something for me. The other huge one here with the me saying yes was I was preventing other people from stepping up because they were going, I couldn't do it as well as her. So they were not. I was lucky that I didn't try to do it all, or I would have ended up making myself sick. But at that point, that little safety mechanism had kicked in. That little safety mechanism was going, oi, Fiona, if you want to train as homeopath, which you put down on your degree application when you were 18, when you applied to do your History of Art degree, if you put this into action, you're going to have to fling some other things out the window. So I stopped prioritising. Well, in that situation. But it's, once a people pleaser, always a people pleaser. Oh, I hope not. I'm really hoping I've ditched it. But it's there. It lurks. And as a practitioner, one has to watch it. Another memory that's popping up just as I am talking to you is, doing live streams where I will read tarot. I speed read on live streams in my group sometimes, and I used to do it back in the day on my profile page and on my business page as well. And the sheer amount of me, I missed mine, that didn't pertain to me, and I used to feel bad. And it was like, hang about, these people are getting this for nothing. And I was in a group with a woman called Joanna Hunter, and she called me out and she said, you're a people pleaser. And it was like a knife. And this is maybe about 4 years ago. And I just went, oh, I really, really felt it. It was like there was something the matter with me. And it was nasty. And I am eternally grateful now. Really, really grateful that, it was like you can't be all things to all people. And actually, this brings me back as well to working at Glastonbury Festival years and years and years ago. And I would be sitting doing stuff with people, whether it was readings, whether I was just advising them, whatever else, from maybe 9 in the morning through to 9 at night. And, you know, with little breaks, obviously. And there was this guy who was camped close to me. And he'd got everything, like, really organised. And somebody came up to him at 5 o'clock and said, I really, really, really need a healing. He wanted this guy to give him a Reiki session. And this lad turned around and he just went, no. And I looked at him and I was like, oh my God, he asked you. And you said no to him? And I don't remember the guy's name. He came, I think, for some reason I think he's called Jack, but I'm sure that isn't his name. Anyway, Jack came back to me and he said, possibly all that guy needed out of that transaction was to be told no. So yeah, the yes girl. Boundaries, dubious. Boundaries, less than dubious. And somewhere like a big festival is somewhere where the boundaries need putting in place. Really, really, really putting in place. Because everybody else, apart from the people pleasers who were there, and you always get them among healers, you always get them among the therapists, among the homeopaths, among the people giving readings, you know, we were grafting 9 in the morning till whatever time, and we didn't have any energy left for ourselves to do much more than to, you know, stagger down to the Green Futures field, which was just below the field we were working in, grab something to eat, brandy coffee, and maybe shower and home to bed, because we didn't have time to risk the showers in the morning. Oh no. So yeah, so I just have a plethora of crazy stories, crazy anecdotes about the times I've shot myself in the foot, the times I've been far too nice for my own good, the times I've held myself back, said no to myself in order to say yes to somebody else. Think about that one. And yeah, said no to myself in order to say yes to somebody else. There's a little bit of the unworthiness creeping in there. And that's, you know, something I could talk about on another day. But it ties in. And, you know, needing to say yes to yourself rather than yes to everybody else. And, you know, pushing other people forward when it should have been you. And I'm at the point now where I haven't got anybody else but me to push forward. I can make... Yeah, Sammy's just said, I say no to myself in order to say yes to someone else. Bam. And what I'm going to talk about, what I'm going to mention here is the putting somebody else out there when it's you that has been asked. And it's you. When you have the opportunity, there is the need to say yes to yourself instead of yes to everybody else. Say no, yes to yourself. Turn yourself round. Face that camera. Even if you feel like an idiot, chances are it's just your little voices going, you're a bit stupid today. And you're not. We are our own worst critics. Totally. So I'm going to come back to this saying yes. And I've got a little exercise for you. So I want you to grab a paper and pen. I've got a lovely little pen which says just get on with it, for fuck's sake. And what I want to do is to say to you, okay, have a think, and I want you to write down 5 people that you always say yes to. You can write it here if you want to, or you may want to just keep this confidential. So 5, or get paper and pen, because when you write things down, you make things happen. So yeah, I've got my big notebook and 5 people you always say yes to. Okay? So just have a little think, but don't think too hard. And you might want to think about why you say yes to those people. And, it may be, it's my boss, and if I don't say yes, I lose my job. Or it's my children. Basic stuff. So, Sammy, stop thinking too hard. So, 5 people I sometimes say yes to next. And think it through. 5 that you sometimes say yes to. Don't say yes to them every time. Just sometimes. And this might, depend on, the phase of the moon, how you're feeling, what the weather's doing, time of day, whatever. 5 people you sometimes say yes to. Okay, then I want you to move on to 5 people that I resent saying yes to. Now this is the big one. 5 people you resent saying yes to, and why. This is the huge one. Because this is your sticking point. This is the area where you need to look the most. Okay? So think about it. 5 people I resent saying yes to. You might not have 5. You might have more than 5. 5 is good though. Aim for 5. And these are people who you need to start thinking about in your life. There's something here that is potentially less than healthy. And I'm going to add something at this point. If I think about the 5 people or 5 people I have got to the point of resenting, that is when I have got ill. Because I have gone against, what was good, what was healthy, what was sensible for me. And Lubna, I am really pleased to see that you haven't got 5 people you resent? Or I hope that's the question you're answering. So yeah, when I have done things against my better judgment, my body has had a moan about it. With me, it has been my gallbladder. And the body doesn't lie. The body has been and continues to be my barometer. So just have a little think. Focus in. Okay? And by all means, come back to this stuff. It might be more than you want to deal with. And Sammy says she's going to do the activity later. And I think that is a very good plan. The recording is going to be here. So, you can come back to this if you've, caught snippets of this at a less than easy time of the day for you. So, the final 5 are 5 people I would never say yes to now, and why. Okay, so 5 people that I may have said yes to in the past, but that I would never say yes to now. Whoa, that was a slip there. So it's easy for us to slip. Yep. 5 people I would never say yes to now, and why. And these may be people you have said yes to in the past. So, I hope that this has made you think. It certainly got me thinking, pulling things together. And what I would love you to do is comment here. And yeah, so coming back, comment here, join in. 5 people I'd never say yes to now, and why. Okay, we all grow, we all change, we all develop, we all progress. See how far you've come. And this may help you with any present resentments that you've got. Because there can often be threads and patterns and similarities. And it might be how somebody looks, how somebody sounds, how somebody acts, the field that somebody's working in, you name it. So, I just invite you to have a look at those 5 people you always say yes to, 5 people you sometimes say yes to, 5 people you resent saying yes to, and 5 people you would never say yes to now. Okay? Because this is going to help you just to review situations. And if something does come up for you from watching this afternoon, don't hesitate to get in touch. I've popped my Calendly link in at the top, and that is calendly.com/Fiona Dilston. And I'd love to hear from you. If some of this stuff has touched you, it's stuff you need to work on. If your health is less than brilliant, there is 9 times out of 10 some emotional causation behind it. I'm into getting there with you, getting in there, helping you see what it is. So there are 20-minute chemistry calls available. There's no obligation. So I'd love to hear from you. And yeah, this is Fiona Dilston. I am going to sign off now. And this is Brand Builders TV.
I hope that you've enjoyed the show today as much as we've enjoyed making it for you. If you've got anything out of this episode, please do tell someone else how they can subscribe to the Brand Builders TV channel at youtube.com/Brand Builders TV. Why not join us at our next Brand Builders Thinkubator, a global mastermind that we run every week to take away the loneliness of being in business on your own. For more information and to book your place, visit light.brandbuilders.club/Thinkubator. That's light.brandbuilders.club/Thinkubator. Until next time, be the ripple that you wish to see in the world, and we'll see you soon.